So I took the Lawgiver set and I made a Venomous Justice build. And it actually is pretty outstanding. Does a lot of damage. It's a lot of fun. And now I'm attacking some salty bears. The build is like really great. It's still a lot of control, but it makes more use of the poison side. And honestly, I'm going to be doing a kind of build that has both fire and poison with this. I see a lot of potential for it, and I really cannot wait to like try that out. I really couldn't wait to like do the poison build and give you guys that, because I think it's going to be awesome, and I just want to see what ideas you guys come out with. Anyway, I'm Darkstrider, the YouTube Assassin. Oh my god, it's a bear. And let's check out the Venomous Justice. Okay, so like I said before, I really couldn't wait to like do this build. I really wanted to work on the Lawgiver, but give it the poison elements, and we made some minor changes. So with the Minotaur's Labrys, which I kept because, like I said, this is a warrior build, everything is the same. We changed it to weapon damage because poison damage. Now, there is a method to that madness. I'm going to show you why in a little bit. It's actually going to really be useful when you see some of the different abilities that we're going to use. Now, along with that, it has a 25% warrior damage, 50% crit damage, -1 adrenaline cost for overpower abilities, which is cool. I swapped out the hammer for Achilles Stingers, and mainly I did this for the poison damage, okay? It does have assassin damage. That does not mess up the build, and honestly, when I do the crossover where it's going to be poison and fire, I really do think that this is also going to be a part assassin build. We'll see what's going on though. But it does have 25% assassin damage, 40% poison. Weapon damage becomes poison damage, and I added 20% damage with Ring of Chaos ability. And the reason for that is because, like I've said on the previous video, we really do enjoy having that Ring of Chaos. It really does a lot of damage, especially the upgraded version, so that's going to be a necessary thing. Over to the bow, we use the Fang Bow. Again, it has assassin damage, it has poison damage, plus 40%. Basic arrows become poison arrows. I added 10% crit chance on this. I already know what I'm going to do with the next build. It's actually going to be pretty phenomenal. Alright, so we go over to the head. 25% warrior damage, 20% crit damage while full health. We swap out the 99% sunburn resistance, and we add the 15% damage with warrior abilities. And then, of course, the entire set, 20% crit chance with warrior abilities. Going over to the bracers, again, warrior damage, crit chance. I added plus 50% crit damage with warrior abilities. All right, that's going to be like absolutely awesome. We just keep adding damage, which I love. The chest piece, I added 50% crit damage. It has 50% elemental buildup, which actually helps with the poison, and 25% warrior damage, which it comes with standard. Now we're looking at the belt, 25% warrior damage, 40% poison damage. I added plus 5% crit chance and 25% crit damage while full health. I don't think that was changed from the last one. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So that just remained in play. Now we go over to the boots, and we see that it has 20%, or actually 25% warrior damage, 40% fire damage, which we can't change. And again, like I said, once we do the final crossover build, this is all going to come into play. I already have like a ton of notes as to like what I'm doing with it. I added 10% intoxicated damage and weakening effect, which basically is for the poison. It basically burns them out a lot quicker, all our enemies and whatnot. As far as the abilities go, we want to keep the same abilities that we had in the last video. So we're paying a lot of attention to Warrior. We're paying attention to the Bull Rush, which is advanced. Second Wind. The Ring of Chaos, which is Wrath of Ares at this point. We're adding Weapons Master and Gear Master because that's going to improve both our damage taking and damage dealing. All right. And then we also want to add the Battle Cry of Ares or Ares Madness if you're able to upgrade it. In order to get that, you're going to have to put at least one rank here and overpower. If you have the points, go for all three. In this build, we will not need the Flaming Attacks or the Fire Mastery. Instead, we're going to move that over here, and we're going to use the actual... Whoops, excuse me. We're going to use the actual Poison Mastery and the Poison Attacks. So this is actually, let's see, this is what it is, Venomous Attacks. You would put one into here, and then you would be able to add 3 here, which improves your poison ability. This right now, as we have like this poison, as you can see, Chronos lends you Isu powers for 15 seconds, receive 50% more adrenaline when dealing damage. So you could put that in place of any of your assassin skill tree items, just so that you have that extra oomph to it. Revelation we don't need. I always add Hero Strike just because I like to be able to actually get one last smack out of like anybody, just in case I need to run or anything like that. Everything else here really is pretty much unnecessary. Now on the Hunter side, just like last time, I go right here for Devastating Shot. If you have the upgraded version, even better. You really don't need any of the other arrows or anything like that. Multi-shot maybe if you're going into Conquest battle, but the thing is that with what we have, it's kind of a moot thing. You're going to have so much control with this build, just like its fire version. All right, so that would be what we have there. As far as masteries, they're a little bit different. Okay, as far as Hunter goes, we're really not doing anything except for like spears and staffs if you chose to go with the spear or staff. All right, crit chance and crit damage we definitely want to have added to that. That only increases our power. Range resistance we need. Elemental buildup is a definite because we're dealing with poison. We really want to be able to build up that kind of, like poison per second and everything like that. So you really want to have that added. Going down the line, Devastating Shot, that's what I use, so that's what I add. Anything else that you are using in the Hunter field, that's up to you. But like I said, if you're going the bare minimum with what I'm telling you, then, those are the things you would go with. As far as Warrior, this is going to be the meat of the whole thing. We really don't have like a whole lot in the beginning that we're going to want. We're going to want possibly health restored on successful parry if you parry a lot. If not, you could save the points because this becomes irrelevant. It's not like the fire build where you're going to be parrying in order to, catch on fire. So you're not going to need that. Same with damage after parry. You're not going to need that even though we used it in the last build. Damage and health while in Conquest battles you most likely will use. So you could add that if you're going to be doing a lot of Conquest battles. And trust me, this is a control build. You're definitely going to want to have that added there. So that's something you may want to look into. Warrior damage is a definite yes. Damage with heavy bladed weapons, if you are using the Labrys, I would definitely go with that. Crit chance and crit damage while low health, you really don't need to because we're not expected to go into low health. So we may not want to do that. Athenian or Spartan soldier damage, you may want to add that if you're, more keen to attacking one faction over the other in Conquest battles, and you're going to be doing a lot of that. Health, total armor, melee resistance, we all want that. We want all of that. All right, makes us less squishy, makes us a little more able to take a little more hits, and melee resistance, it just increases our basically armor. So going further down, I always add this damage per enemy engaged up to 25%, especially when you're in Conquest battles. You're going to be able to battle a bunch of them all at once. You're really going to want that. Damage while low health, no. Damage dealt restores his health, yes, if you have the points to spare, only because you're going to be doing a lot of damage. You may not be getting hit as often and stuff like that, but in certain scenarios, like if you're using the engraving that gives you 100% more damage, but 25% of your health bar, you may want to use that. That may be something you look forward to. Damage with warrior abilities, that's a yes. And then we go down to the Bull Rush and Ring of Chaos. Those are going to be huge. So we definitely want that. Even though it's only 10%, it's still big. Trust me on that one. Every little bit of damage that you could squeeze out, you definitely want. All right. Going over to Assassin, we are going to be using some Assassin stuff here. Poison weakening effect. Obviously, because we're using poison, as soon as you hit an enemy, you're really going to want that to take effect. You're really going to want it to do as much damage as possible. So you're definitely going to want that added. As we go further down, Assassin damage, you may want to add only because it's considered Assassin damage, the poison. So you may want to add that. All right, experiment with it a little bit. See, you know, like if that works out for you, or maybe the warrior attacks is just more than enough for you to get the job done. Just, you know, like I say, experiment that. It doesn't hurt to do anything with that. Damage with daggers, yes, or swords. If you're using a sword, if you chose to go that route, you definitely want to like do those. Crit chance and crit damage while full health. Those are definites. We want to do as much damage as possible. Again, warrior builds are fun just because you get to like go in and you're just a god. You just crank out a bunch of damage, and these things are going to help. Damage while full health, that's a yes. Chance to ignore half damage, maybe. Elemental resistance, yes. Poison damage, yes. All right, elemental resistance, you're going to want to be able to resist basically like other mercenaries who are going to come after you and whatnot. You know, they always firebomb you or poison bomb you. You may want to like have that added. Poison damage, we're going to be doing poison damage. You're going to need that. Definitely, you want to increase that. Going down, let's see. Damage on elite and bosses, if you can spare it, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of conquest battles, like I said before, it really does not hurt to have that. The same thing with when you're going into fortresses. If you go into fortresses and you know there's going to be a lot of elites, you're definitely going to want to add that as well. All right, that's going to be very important for those two scenarios, but that's up to you depending on what you plan on doing with it. We really don't need any of the other assassin abilities or anything like that. Hero Strike you may want to add only because if you're using Hero Strike, then you're definitely going to want to be able to do a little extra damage. Okay, so we'll go to the numbers. We'll check out what's what. And as you can see, warrior damage is 210%. The only reason it's lower than the last build is because we have assassin damage added here. All right. You can improve that by putting on different engravings depending on what you're working with. So definitely, you know, like experiment, try it out. Going down here, we really are not interested in damage with bows or anything like that. Damage with daggers, 30%. Damage with blades, 30%. So this is pretty much 30% across the board, which is not terrible, but, you know, it could be improved. Now, critical hit chance and damage, 40 and 225 respectively, which, I mean, those are big numbers. So critical hit chance and damage, that's amazing. If you go while full health, you have 75% and 300% respectively. Now, you got to imagine, in this kind of build, there really is no real way for you to become weak. You're not lighting on fire, so you're not going to be able to do like the last build where you take damage. You're taking fire damage on the last build. This one, you're taking no damage. Poison does not affect you unless, of course, you are poisoned. So this is something that's, you know, kind of big. It's kind of a big deal. So that's actually excellent. And then low health and low damage, 50 and 275 respectively. And that's okay. That's you know, whatever. Fire damage, 100%. Again, this is not a fire build, but if you look at the poison damage, 165, 18 seconds, 260% poison buildup. Those are excellent numbers, especially when you start getting it going. Health, armor, melee resistance, range resistance, those are good numbers as far as our resistances go. You know, again, they could be improved with engravings and ostrakas, depending on what kind of build you're going with. All right. Adrenaline, we're really not going with adrenaline because this is going to crank out a lot of adrenaline, trust me. All right, so that's the build. If there's any changes that you would make, definitely let me know because that'll be awesome. We're going to get to the center of the whole area so that we could really take part in like what's going on here. We want them all following us. And I don't believe this. Do you see that over there? It's a bear. What is going on, Ubisoft? Why are you dropping bears in all of my presentations? Oh my god, it's a dead bear. Alright guys, come on. You guys had enough fun. Let's go. I want all you guys in here. We're going to have to actually torch this freaking thing because we have no weapons or anything that has fire on it. We're going to have to activate it the old-fashioned way. So there we go. We're calling for reinforcements. And again, this is a nice control build. Let's get in here. I mean, that took half his health. I've been cleaving a couple of people where, like, it just one-shots them. And that's on, like, a light sort of... Yeah, look at that, one-shot. Okay, and then with the poison attacks, we get to do that. We get to, like, actually poison them with that ability. Stuff gets hairy. You already know what to do. Got our Circle of Chaos, and it's poisoning them. Look at like how devastating that is. And then of course there's the explosion afterward, which happens, and it just poisons everybody if they survive. I love that. That is just intense damage. Look at this. This guy was behind me and I just slapped him with the freaking axe. Is this the best I got? And your guys are all laid out. So just like with the other build, it's very controlling. A lot of control here. Hey, how you doing? You're here to die, apparently. Nope, I'm not dying first. You're getting blasted into next week, apparently. Where were you during the whole fight? That sucks. Mimosa, mother of spiders. Sounds tasty. Okay, so that was pretty much against an entire fortress. Like, nobody actually stood a chance. They still don't. Look at this guy. Watch this. Your horse died. I'm not getting away. My poison's stronger. And these are all weak attacks. That's the funny thing. I'm not even using like the real raging attacks. What the heck? Oh my god, it's a lynx! Stay still, you two. Just devastating. Let's see how it does, though, in the middle of an actual Conquest battle. That's gotta be fun. So here we are once again on the battlefield, and we're about to distribute some serious venomous justice on these fools. Even our own people, sadly. There goes the explosion. Look at that. Big numbers on that. Let's find a whole group. I mean, these one-shot kills are outstanding. A lot of fun. And just all the poison destruction that happens is just hilarious. With this Labrys swinging around, I'm like killing people behind me, in front of me, to the side of me. Oh, what have we got? We've got another mercenary.
I can't let you leave here alive. Eagle bearer, your life ends here.
Wow, that guy threw some... Ew, he's a goat hunter.
I need some help here.
Here, I'll walk away from this, they'll all explode. Look at this, just massive explosions everywhere. Explosions! Nobody get over here, unless you're gonna die. Time to distribute venomous justice upon you. Eat it! Feel the wrath of the eagle bearer, breaking it down. Rending your bones and body parts inoperative. Saving the day and killing his own people accidentally. Who's going down? You're going down. What are you talking about going down? Ba-ba-bam! Killing my own people by accident, that's kind of semi-hilarious. I mean, these guys just get vaporized. If I could crank out a little more poison damage, I think that it would be like a lot funnier, because I think that they would just be easily laid out. Like, you could just do a couple of like explosives here and there and just walk away and they'll all freaking just drop eventually, which is funny. So look at that, no bear showed up. But anyway, what changes would you make to this? I mean, like I said before, it's pretty cool that it was originally a fire build. We adjusted it for poison. We could crank up a little more poison, maybe take down some of the warrior... oh, what? What? Dude! What okay. Hello, glitch. Anyway, like I was saying, please... by all means, like, let me know what you would change. You know, like, I would love to see what changes you would make. I would love to actually try it myself. If you have like a great idea, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out an awful lot. And as always, thank you for watching. And if any of you guys know why this guy is buried halfway in the sand here and still standing, let his family know. Somebody got to come get their man.